Just got back from XRP Las Vegas conference. Wow, what a fantastic time. I'm gonna go over what we talked about next. We're also gonna talk about Dubai. We know that Mr. Garlinghouse flew from, let's call it Vegas, to Dubai to go to the conference today. He had an interview. We're gonna go over that as well. Gonna talk about Coinbase, all next on OG Crypto and NFT. Welcome everyone, my name is Troy, and Monday through Friday we go over the latest news in crypto, blockchain, and digital currencies, as well as non-fungible tokens, NFTs, which we probably won't highlight today so much. Let's jump right into it. I tweeted this out yesterday. It says XRP Las Vegas had a great time meeting everyone and celebrating with you. Boy, did I love it. A picture of me and John Deaton. Did he kill it? There, he was the last session, him, Jeremy Hogan, and Eleanor Tourette, and that was just a fantastic update on the lawsuit, as well as just other things that can happen around the lawsuit. It happens around Ripple. I gotta love this guy. He's a Marine. He acts like a Marine. We get along way too well. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Enough said. Here is Molly Elmore on stage with a couple of people that she was interviewing. Actually, one was from Uphold. The lady there was from Uphold. So it was nice to hear Uphold was there. Link 2 was there as well. Expectar. You just had, PolySign was there. So we had all the suspicion, or what was it? The usual suspects that showed up. We are excited about what's happening on the XRPL. Another one with Coach JV. Anyone out there that's on YouTuber? Coach JV's right here. Here's a picture of me and Quincy Jones, big XDC dev. Had a lot of fun with him. Met, and I have a picture somewhere of digital asset investor. Hung out with him, talked about Kenny Powers. I don't know if you guys know Eastbound and Down, but his son has a mullet and he was trying to get a perm. So it's perma mullet. We talked about perma mullet, talked about XRP, we talked about Ripple. What a great time. Here's some digital asset investor. Here's a picture of all the big suspects here. We have Brad Kynes. Thank you very much, sir, for putting this on. We really appreciate it. We have John Deaton, Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, showed up. Boy, that's awesome. We had digital asset investor John, as well as Mr. Intuitive, we call him, the cool guy. We had all those guys in there. What a great picture. This is one to remember, guys. Well, and let's just jump into it. We're at the Dubai FinTech Summit. This is where Ripple is at. This is where Brad flew from Las Vegas into Dubai. And this is what they talked about. Very interesting. You know what's on everyone's mind. To really expand, Ripple into all markets and to get everything going, we got to get rid of the SEC lawsuit. Here is an interview. It's 2 minutes. And then I'll jump right back into what Ripple announced today as well.
Look, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. I find it as a company that started in the United States and as someone who's a U.S. citizen, it's sad. Like, I have sadness about this. The U.S. is getting passed not just a little bit, but by a lot. And but the tough thing about this is you have a country that I think has put politics ahead of policy. And that's not a good decision if you're trying to invest in the economy. You're seeing it, certainly here in the UAE with VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. Certainly what's happened recently in Europe with MiCA. The United States is definitely stuck. And Ripple, the case with the SEC, we will spend. The first time I've shared this publicly, by the time it's said and done, we will have spent $200 million defending ourselves against a lawsuit, which from its very beginning, people were like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. You have video footage of the chair of the SEC as a professor at MIT saying 75% of these digital assets are commodities, And now he says they're all securities because he's the head of the SEC and he's seeking power and he's putting power ahead of sound policy to grow an economy in the United States. Blockchain technologies are being invested in and pursued in the entrepreneurship outside the United States. And one of the first pieces of advice I give entrepreneurs when they come and ask me, hey, I'm getting something started, I'll say, if I were you, I would not start in the United States. And I think there's a lot of US-based companies and even US public companies that would agree with that.
Wow, that's kind of crazy to talk about. You know, when you hear that, it really has a chilling effect of the administration that we have in power right now. We're just seeing what we've talked about before, dismantling of the U.S. You know, the banking system's falling apart. We have, you know, the Fed raising rates. You have people rolling over the border like crazy. That, you know, Mayorkas is just the worst. And then you have nothing coming out, nothing that's but dribble coming out of Jay Biden. And who again, let me just get this clear. Who's the vice president? Because you got to keep her silent. Anytime she opens her mouth, it just turns into a mess. And then you look at the SEC and you have a lifelong dirty politician who went to MIT because a Republican or the red team actually showed up and took over. And so he went to MIT, said one thing, and the second the blue team comes in and he gets a job, what does he do? He does exactly the opposite because that's what he's being told by the upper politicians on what to do, actually, and some of the financial sector is telling him what to do. Just terrible. But like Brad had said, and he was announced, Ripple CEO weighs in on company expansion to Dubai. They're opening a Dubai office now. Boom, they're in the AE. This is just, they're telling us now that 20% of their on-demand liquidity business will be from the AE as it continues to grow. I know we reported on it earlier, you know, last week, the week before, that they're doing about $1 billion a month in on-demand liquidity with using Ripple or using XRP on the ODL network. Some people call it RippleNet. So this is very, very exciting news. Guys, we were so excited to see Brad Garlinghouse showed up. That was completely unannounced in XRP Las Vegas on Friday night. I mean, it just was, just even the thought that a CEO who didn't say a word about even showing up wasn't going to be there. No one thought that. He showed up. He cared. He talked about the XRP army and how much it meant to him in this lawsuit, as well as it means to the company out there and how much that we've been, invested into it and that we continue to show support of Ripple and XRP. All right, let's jump into the next article here. It says, so today we saw a big drop in actually, last night it began, but it continued today. A contagion dropping crypto everywhere. It says crypto stocks drop after Binance halts Bitcoin withdrawals for hours. They did an hour last night, 3 more hours today. We're just seeing a lot of weird things happening out there. Binance, now the FUD out there for Binance is that they're not as solvent as you would expect. A lot of us already have been saying that about Tether. We're really disappointed that we haven't seen, stablecoin regulation yet, which we should see, because we know that whoever the 4 or 5 guys that own Tether that keeps moving around all over the place, there is no transparency. We have no idea if they even have any money. They just keep printing it. And if you just keep printing Tether, you can go and buy Bitcoin all day and raise the price up and then dump it on people. So, and the SEC to me is the problem, because they're going after Binance's BUSD, but they won't touch Tether. I don't get it. I don't get what is actually happening there, with the SEC. Nothing makes sense. It just looks like, that it's a controlled demolition by someone above him that's telling him what to go after and what not to go after. And it would be the financial sector, or Jamie Dimon, I don't know what, but Gary Gensler is just the scumbag that we thought he was, way back when he was someone pretty high up in the Clinton administration, at least the failed attempt to become president. All right, so let's jump into the next article here. It says Coinbase CEO says SEC is on a lone crusade, dials back on suggestions exchange may relocate. So, I think that they're not so much gonna relocate their main office, but I absolutely think that they're gonna turn around and they're going to go after, they're gonna have other offices all over worldwide. They need to pivot when they need to pivot. And so that's important to Coinbase, but they did meet with, with Stuart Alderati, the head legal mind over there at Ripple, met with the head legal mind over at Coinbase. They got together, and I think that they're giving out information how to beat the SEC, since it has made the SEC look really bad in the hearings, as well as the whole lawsuit, how bad the Ripple team has made, the SEC look. So I think that they're getting their heads together. I hope we see, something happen with XRP being, relisted. We've been very disappointed with Coinbase because, they, years ago, they folded like a cheap suit. We thought that Brian Armstrong was a big, ETH man, and he did. He had a .ETH name. And then all of a sudden, when he felt he was going to get, had a little bit of issues with SEC, the .ETH name disappears. He acts like a normal guy. And the SEC continues to tell him that some of his coins are securities, and he won't take those off the exchange, but it's XRP he wants to take off. Guys, it's the number, and just cap outside of stable coins, it's the number 4 biggest, between 3 and 4 biggest cryptocurrencies. It's been around over 10 years, and you're just taking it off because you're scared. Right? Scared of what? Scared of being sued? You already are being sued for other reasons. So relist XRP, bitches. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today. We really appreciate it. Really excited again about XRP Las Vegas. Can't wait to see all those guys next year. Have a few drinks, have a few laughs, and get the knowledge you need to know that you made the right decision in that investment. Peace.